Hey all, Jason Levon, priest at St. Luke's Episcopal Church in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Welcome to another edition of Pause and Pray. One of the interesting patterns that I've discovered as we're moving through this pandemic here at St. Luke's for me as priest is dealing with sort of a backlog of funerals and memorial services. As I'm speaking with families who lost loved ones during the pandemic, but weren't able to gather with as many people as they would have liked at the funeral home or here at church to celebrate somebody's life, to grieve together, to support each other. I'm speaking currently with 3 families to prepare funeral services or memorial services in the coming weeks. And what never ceases to amaze me is when I'm talking to families in preparation for a funeral liturgy or memorial service, when they're reflecting on their loved one who has gone before, they don't usually focus on the big things about that person's life, the grand accomplishments. Rather, they almost instinctively focus on all of the little things that they come to discover are worth so much more than they could have ever imagined. For some of the families I'm speaking with now, that's little things like a doily or a blanket that was crocheted out of love, or a piece of bakery that only that person could make that tasted like love, or a daily check-in phone call to see how family and friends were doing, or presence at a piano recital or athletic competition or school event for grandkids and great-grandkids. Or maybe it was a little nugget of wisdom that was shared in a time of crisis or struggle that helped a family member. Or for some, it was just knowing that the person's door would always be open if you needed somebody to talk to. And on, they reflect on just how valuable these little bits of righteousness truly are in life. In today's daily office, we pray Psalm 37. It's a psalm like several psalms where the psalmist is overwhelmed by life. But in the midst of that, in verse 17, the psalmist comes to this beautiful discovery that just a little righteousness is worth more than the riches of the wicked, as the psalmist prays. Coming to understand in the midst of all that can overwhelm and turn us inside out and upside down, all that's needed sometimes are just little bits of righteousness to guide and sustain us. What a holy invitation in all of that to pause and pray today about how we've come to experience those little bits of righteousness at work guiding and sustaining us. Maybe our lists mirror that of what these families have been sharing with me. Maybe they're different. But in the end, I hope we're all surprised by just how important, just how valuable a little bit of faith, hope, and love can be in our lives. God's peace and blessings to you all.